Hey, we have returned. This is the IRS Radio Hour on AM 560. The Answer. We're here with Deborah Schreiner, Jim Leahy. We're having lots of fun. We want you to have fun with us. So every Sunday.
Join us.
Come join us. That's right. So every Sunday at 5 o'clock, you stop what you're doing and put on the radio. You should have the radio on anyway. And then listen to the show and have fun with us. And now you can have fun with us at 10 o'clock on Saturday nights also. And Friday afternoon at 1:30.
It's like Saturday
That's
Night
right.
Fever.
I could be with you all week long having fun with you. Okay. Remember now, this Saturday, coming up Saturday, we're going to have Roy Spencer from Permaseal. He's got a lot of great things. You got to listen to the show because the guy really has a lot.
Let me just
to talk
give a
about.
teaser.
What a great guy! 40 years.
Let me just give a teaser.
Go ahead.
The Basement Defender.
The Basement Defender.
The Basement Defender.
You need to know about this.
The Basement.
Do you have a basement? Do you need it defended? The answer is yes. Listen next week.
I was telling them for being a realtor standpoint, too.
Oh,
it's great to have some guys like Permaseal come in and make sure to market marketability.
I don't want to ruin the show, so you got to listen. But he's got a great story, too, about because he's been doing this for 40 years. And so you got to hear that story. But that's next week. This week, we're going to do the blog segment.
It's the blog segment. The blog. The blog.
It is the blog segment where I talk about what's going on in my office. Okay? And this
the holiday party?
Oh, we did have a holiday party. I call it a Christmas party, although it is the holiday because it's also the New Year, and we're having it's this around the holidays. It's always hard to. Not a lot happens in my office I'm going to Arizona this year, so nothing's going to happen for me around the office. But anyway, I wanted to talk about a certain. I got a call this week from somebody in Washington State, and he had a home here in Illinois, and it was foreclosed upon, and he lost the home, and now he moved to Washington State, and it appears that that the mortgage company got a judgment against him in foreclosure. I always tell people now that during the foreclosure crisis, part of the agreement was that they weren't going to seek deficiencies against people. Now, remember what a deficiency is. A deficiency is the difference between what they sell the house for at auction and what you owe them. Okay, that's the deficiency. And here in Illinois, we're known as a recourse state. And what that means is if they can take recourse against you, so the mortgage company doesn't take the loss. Okay, they don't have to take the loss. They can come after you. You take the loss. Okay, so if they sold your house for $150,000 and you owed them $225,000, well, I still owe them $75,000. I don't have the house anymore, and I still owe them $75,000. And they can come after me. They get a judgment, and they can collect like they do all judgments. How can they collect on a judgment? Well, they can garnish my wages. They can freeze my bank account. They can come after my assets. Okay, this is how people go after your.
That could be taken more than one way.
This is how they collect on a judgment, okay? And so this gentleman who called me from Washington State, what was happening was the mortgage company was trying to get their judgment, move it over into Washington because you can't enforce an Illinois judgment in Washington State. So they were trying to get it instated in Washington State to come after the guy. And the guy said, "Wait a minute." So he calls me. He says, "Wait, I think I got a 1099-C from this company because I lost the house 5 years ago. Then they sent me a 1099-C. Okay, and a 1099-C, just to remind you, is a cancellation of debt, and many people have to pay taxes on that cancellation of debt. It's a tax." It's your tax return. You have to account for that on your tax return. And this can cause a lot of problems if you do not. So if you get a 1099-C, do not ignore it. I think too many people do because they don't understand what it is. Okay, so anyway, so he got a 1099-C. And he called me and said, "Well, wait a minute. How can they get this judgment here in Washington State when, in fact, they've already canceled that debt, so they can't come after me anymore. Isn't that right?" And I had to say, now this is a typical answer when you're asking legal questions, especially if you're asking for a general question around the country, because every place is different. So a lot of the answer often to legal questions is it depends. right? It's not yes or no. It depends. So some judges, some bankruptcy judges have said no, that you've canceled the debt. A 1099-C is a cancellation of debt, means that the company has written it off and they can't come after you for it anymore. And so that is the minority view, which means that most courts don't believe that. Most courts, they look to the IRS, and the IRS has put out some informational letters about this very issue, because creditors have said, hey, wait a minute, IRS, you're asking me to do this 1099-C, you're requiring me to do it, but I'm afraid if I send a 1099-C, then the people will say it's canceled and I can't collect on it anymore. And the IRS has written about their opinion, and they say, no, that's not what this is. This is a accounting function. You don't have to. It doesn't mean you can't go after people. It's just an accounting function.
Listen, it's getting real complicated, and this is what's great about it. It gets complicated. Is there a number I can give you a call at?
Yes, it's 312-664-6649. Again, it's 312-664-6649. And here's what I was talking about people calling, and sometimes they want you to just back up what they already think is the answer. And so when I tell this gentleman, no, it's not necessarily, well, it's not here in Washington State. Well, if you know the answer, why are you calling me, right? Why I'm trying to give you an honest answer. And I will always give you an honest answer. Okay, I'll try to figure out what the answer is if I don't know the answer. But here I have already done this research, and I know what the answer is. Even here in Illinois, it depends on where you are. It depends on what court you go into. Some courts will say that it's been discharged and they can't come after you, but other courts say no, it's just an accounting thing and they still can come after you. So it doesn't. And anyway, that doesn't stop them from even bringing an action. You could be a defense. You can say, well, look, you've written this off. It's already gone. You can't come after me. But whether the judge agrees with that or not is another matter. And so this is important because now here's a gentleman. I asked him, what your income is now. He said, well, I'm making about $120,000. He's a single guy making about $120,000 a year. Well, bankruptcy's not really an option for him. They had an $80,000 judgment against him. Okay, so now what are you going to do? Well, there's a judgment against you. You're going to pay it. Yeah. That's what's going to happen.
That's your option.
Now, you could have this. It could be a defense that says, no, they sent me a 1099-C and they don't know. And maybe he'll get a judge that agrees with him. I don't know. I couldn't give him the positive that, oh, yeah, this is a 100%. They can't come after you. 100%, they can't. What my opinion is that the mortgage company knows about this rule, and they probably did their research before they paid the money to have it come to move it over to Washington State. So I would think that they know the answer to that. But they make mistakes too, so maybe they don't. But again, that's why the answer is it depends. And so usually what I tell people is if you're going to do something about a foreclosed home, do it before the sale. Because there's things you can do before to make sure they don't get a judgment against you and get this deficiency judgment against you. Because this deficiency judgment, if they get a judgment, it lasts forever. I might be having a temporary financial problem, but maybe that turns around, and in 3 or 4 years I start making some good money. Well, now they can come after me 3 or 4 years ago. You could have taken care of it when things were bad. So sometimes it makes sense to take advantage of a bad situation and protect yourself for the future. That just makes sense. So if you're in foreclosure, if you're falling behind in your mortgage, you should call me at 312-664-6649, and I will honestly answer your questions. I'm not trying to sell you. I mean, don't get me wrong. I help people in this line. But if you have a question, call me. I'll give you an honest answer, and that's the most you can hope for.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Open tax resolution 312-664-6649. And visit ChicagoTaxTeam.com. I'll give you that in just another. I'm going to give you that number again. But remember, take care of your situation now. Don't let it fester. Don't let it become an issue because, as Attorney Stephen Leahy said, well, I don't have anything now. Well, guess what? You might have something in the future, and then it's going to harm you then.
That's right.
So take action now. Open tax resolution is there for you. 312-664-6649 and visit ChicagoTaxTeam.com. is going to be your hub to fight the IRS. Now, ladies and gentlemen, remember, stay tuned because we not only the IRS radio hour, but we also have the Trust Radio Network. You can also go to WatchTalkRadio.com. You can watch our show live stream every Friday at around 1:30. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, open tax resolution is there for you. 312-664-6649. Now listen to our sponsors and come back on AM 560.
The answer.